Well, Mr. Armstrong, what's next?
Okay, next we're going to start detailing the brows. We're going to put the line work in. Let me get a little media out on the tile. One thing I did want to say, I just thought of, you see the pictures that we're using for reference. No, we did not make the molds off of these dolls. These dolls are absolutely perfect. The clothes have never been off of them. The wigs have never been off of them. And Michael, David, nor I would take these dolls apart. They're in too good of a condition. We did use real Dehors, but they were not the quality of what you're seeing. These are exceptional quality, the painting. So this is the shots that Michael and David sent me to paint by. So I just did want to tell you that the molds were not made off of these exact
But it is
Dehors.
the same mold.
Oh, it's the same heads on both. These are just, you don't want to tear apart something that's 150 years old. It'll never look the same if you put it back together.
No. And these, I think they both have that certain something.
Oh, yes. Now, I am taking media and the Chameau brow. I'm thinning it down. Not as thin as we did for the shadow brows. But as you can see, the brows are kind of light, so we don't want the heavy color on there. Okay. Now we'll see if I've got this thinned down
Now,
enough.
the Chameau brown from also from Bell.
Bell, yes.
Okay.
Okay, of course, I start from the center and work outward. Don't be afraid to paint upside down and turn that head, because I do a great deal of my work on brows and lashes when it's upside down. And as you can tell, they're thicker here. Then the slant starts getting more extreme as we go to the arch.
Okay.
So your first few strokes are going to be larger than your shadow brow. Once again, use very light pressure when you're stroking the brows in. The lighter they are, the thinner your line work will be. Okay, now I'm going to start going at more of a slant and go downward. Now turn it and look at it. Okay. To me, this right in here needs to be stacked a little longer. So I'm going to put little tails on the very tip end. That little bit. Pretty pleased with it, but let's put another
I think it's looking great.
tail or two down here, just to give it more of a finished look.
And it really helps frame the eyes too.
Oh yes, and see, you can't really see that shadow brow. I've done it so light.
No.
I use it just as where I know I should put my line work. We will come back and intensify it. So, okay, we're going to stroke in this side now. Light touch. Get to the arch, you change the position that you stroke in and turn it downward. Okay, to me, I need to put tails under there, just a little bit more.
You know, Carl, will this be fired again, or is this?
Oh no, we still have one more firing after this.
Okay.
So Let's see, let's put another stroke or two down here. Just to kind of give it a little more symmetry. Okay, I can live with it now. Okay. And once again, we're not going to do a great deal more work. Get some of that dust out of there. We're going to go in next, and we're going to use the, what was it, roseberry, I think it is. Yes, roseberry. We're going to do the accents on the lips. We'll thin some color down. If you'll notice on her, we have a line between the lips. And there's quite an upswing on the edges here and here. So we're going to do that first. It comes down, then you have a drop, then it's like it goes back up. It's not a straight line. So we'll do that first. Go in with just the tip of that brush. Do the little dip.
Wow, that really pops, doesn't it?
From here on out, this is what gives your doll character. This is what really brings it forward.
Totally.
And like you said, it pops when you
It's
start
totally
adding
popping.
this little tiny bits of color.
And I can see that all that work of those separate fires really pay off.
Okay, now let's look at those accent lines. Most are very fine. On this doll, they're not that fine.
No.
And they're quite blotted. So I painted the center line. We're going to leave that. We're not going to blot it. We want that to stand out more because it's very evident it does on the original. But we're going to drop down here and we're going to do the accents. The accents, we are going to blot those. So go in here. Pay attention to the picture that you've got where those accent lines actually go. Paint those in. I don't like this one. Don't be afraid to go back in there. If you don't like it or something looks off, just take that off. It's easier than trying to fix it sometimes. Get it more like what you want. Okay. Let's go in here with a very thin edge of a makeup sponge. Try not to move it. I'm pressing and then rocking it.
You don't want to smudge it.
No, you want to keep your color right where you put it. You just want to lighten it and remove the intensity. Okay. Now, I'm going to go in here and trim off just a tad of it. I think it's a little extreme. Because now that one I have ended up taking the whole thing off, so I'll go right back in there and put it back on. And we will be going back over this in the next firing. So just like we've been doing, basically hint at the color and the placement. I still don't like that side. See, I mess up. You will mess up. Just don't get upset.
You've got a camera, over your shoulder. It's not like a normal circumstance.
True. Now I'm making it worse.
I think that's really sweet.
Okay, I finished the lip accents. They're
Can you
not,
turn her so that we can
yeah,
see?
they're not excellent, but like I said, we'll
I
go
think they're
right.
pretty darn nice, Carl.
Well, I've got a hint at where they should live at. So in the next firing, we'll intensify it. Right now, I'm going back over my cheeks with media, like we've been doing. We need to build that color just a little more. So we're going to go into the T-rose, blot out once again. This time I'm putting it on the apple of the cheek because I want to concentrate more color there at this time. Now in the next firing, we're going to do something a lot of people don't know, but I have found and use in a lot of dolls. We're going to put another different color on top of that.
Okay.
And that will make the cheeks look even fuller and the color more intense. Now see, I'm not blending this all the way out. I'm just keeping it right in the center on the apple of the cheeks. You want to keep it soft all around it. But you can see it's already coming out more, just that little, and it's the same color. You can do it by the thin coats.
But you're making it glow with what you're doing.
Yes. Let's see, we've almost got a Dehors already from what we have started out with. So that's the last firing. This is next to the last firing. This time though, we're not putting any more color. This time, only take it to a 019. You will not lose as much color. We will not be stressing out our pinks and making them go dull or lose pigment. So we've already fired it 4 or 5 times at 018. By going 50 degrees or so cooler, we're going to keep the integrity of what you see here. It won't lighten up that much more. So this is ready for the kiln, and once again, this time only take it to a 019. In fact, the next firing also, we're only going to go to a 019.
All right, Carl. Well, we'll put her in the oven and we'll be back. Well, Carl, did you have a good night's sleep?
Yes, I did. Thank goodness.
Oh, good. And I noticed that we're back and you have your palette here, and these are the paints from yesterday. So did they dry up, or what? You're using them again today?
Oh, yes.
So tell me, what did you do to reactivate it?
Well, I just put a little bit more media, which evaporates overnight. You can see this one's still kind of firm. So the colors we use, I put just a drop of media in there and remix them with my palette knife. Today we'll be using T-Rose, Jumeau Brow, and Pink Pompadour to work on Edouard. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is tone down his lips just like we did the Lady Dehors. We're going to take the Pink Pompadour. We're going to paint over this bright pink and try to dilute some of the color and dull it some. So we'll just put a very quick coat over it, following where we've already painted. And of course, I have not followed the contour of the lips. It shows you can be a messy artist and still correct with the eraser. I'm going to thicken up the sides of his mouth just a little more. We don't want him as happy as she is, because he is definitely not in the original. Go up just
And it is a
more.
working day here today, so there will be little funny noises, and one of the noises you're hearing, the clicking, is of the kiln.
We're gonna go in there and we're gonna blow a lot. Okay. I'm gonna clean up some of the edges on the lips. Got this a little too severe. There is this very small dip in his mouth. Okay, there we go. By the time that's fired, the lips will take on a much lighter pink, not so severe and hot pinky looking. I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna brighten up the tear ducts just a bit. This is also pink pompadour. And we'll do the nose dots.
Now we've done this on the lady, but these details are basically the same, correct?
They're the same. His painting, though, is going to be a little different when we start the brows. Okay. I'm going to get some of this color out. And I'm going to use our makeup sponge that has media in it. We're going to intensify the shadow work around his eyes just a little bit more. We'll be going into the T-rose with a bit of media added to it to thin it and to make it movable. Go right into...
So you work with layer upon layer.
Yes. It just helps build depth and gives richness to the color. Now, I'm going to take the slant shader. And I'm doing this instead of a China mop where I can concentrate the color just a little more, make it more intense. But you still do want this blended. He seems not to be as blended as the lady, which gives him more of a rugged look, really. I'm going to pull this out just a little around the lower eyes. And I'm not really going in there very hard with this brush. I'm basically using the very tip ends to blend it outward somewhat. Now we're going to take our eraser. Once again, take that off of the upper lids. Okay. Now, we are going to start his mustache and goatee. Find the one with the painted. There we go. We'll be using the Eugénie brow. We want to dilute that color also, so go back into your media a little bit. Saturate your brush. Then go into the Eugénie. So we're going to put a very light coat. Okay. And you'll see he has a slight upturn to it. We're going to make it a little bit heavier. If you'd like a different shaped mustache and goatee, it's perfectly acceptable, I would think. Once again, this doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to come in and put some brush strokes on top.
But that'll be the second firing after
yes.
this?
Yes, we'll need to get this stabilized somewhat. Okay, and I'm going to do a heavier goatee than what the original had, just to give him a more manly look. And it doesn't need to be really dark or anything. Once again, it's like the way I paint eyebrows. I just kind of leave enough color there to have something to go by and indicate where it goes. So you'll be able to do more shaping after this is fired and stabilized. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. We'll take our makeup sponge, go in there very cautiously. So we just want to leave a little bit of color. And go in and blot our mustache. Take this little bit off there. Okay, that's good enough right there. Now with that same brush, which is a small lip brush, we're going to go in and do his eyebrows. And let's really look at the shape of those brows. Hers, of course, were kind of arched and everything. If you'll look here, you'll see he's got like a scowl. They go up, down, quite high there. It's not really an arch, but it's very rounded. And his eyebrows really extend way down, if you really look. They're fairly close together also on the bridge of the nose. So that's what we're going to do right now, is put the shadow brow in. We'll get some color, figure out where they're supposed to be. Don't forget, turn your head, make it easier for you to go at the angle that you need to go. Once again, this doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to come back and refine it with the brushwork. Once again, just an indicator of where those eyebrows are supposed to be. And our brushwork will extend over where we're doing this shadow brow. So it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, don't be perfect. These are antiques. Now, kind of messy, but we'll clean them up. Go in there and blot. Seriously, take most of that color off. You want it very light. Okay, I'm going to go in here. A few things I don't like, we're just going to get rid of. Okay. The tails, as I call them, I don't have them long enough, so we need to bring those down just a little more. Because his eyebrows do extend way down. And once again, we want to capture the look and the execution of the old as much as we can. Okay, blot. Let's thin this one down just a little. Because the tails of his eyebrows are quite small. You can probably tell better with this photograph. They're quite thick here and bushy. And then they go down to little tails. So we'll get rid of some of this. Let's take this one in just a little. Okay, I can live with that now. We're going to take some media on a makeup sponge, and we're going to give him a little more cheek color. Be cautious of your mustache and your goatee and lips, because we've just painted those, so they will come off easily. And we're going to go back into our T-rose. You're not going to pick up a great deal of color. And always remember to pick your color up and tamp that around on the sponge where it's more evenly distributed. Deposit some color, then get the mini cheek mop. Blend your color. A little more color here. A little more than that. Always try to keep your cheeks as even as possible. Okay. Well, that's brought him up now.
It's a miracle.
It's starting to look more like a Dehors now. Okay, we have him ready for his next firing.
All right, I can hardly wait to see how he comes out.
Well, he will be fired to an 019 in this firing.
All right, we will be back for the next segment.
Okay, so now we are nearing the end of the painting of the Dehors. We're going to start with the Dehors man. We've already did the shadow brows and the shadowing of the mustache and the goatee. So our next step is going to be go in there and we're going to do our brush work. So let's see, I think I'll start with the mustache. We'll work from there. And if you'll notice on the original, we have pretty uniform brush work going, but like I said, we're going to do more of a handlebar with it. So we're going to start it out and through here just like that. But whenever I get here, we're going to change it a bit where we'll have the handlebar. Okay. So we're going to start in the middle at an angle. And start adding our fine lines in. Our paint's thin, but it's not terribly thin. Whoa, it's a little much. Don't do heavy brush strokes. They just look clumsy. Try to do small ones and use the very tip end of your brush. Extend it down to the lips. And to start at the top and pull down. And come over to this other side. When we get to that level on both sides, I'm going to go up here. And do like almost a comma stroke. And I'm going to come back around kind of outline it, basically. And put a few strokes in there to suggest the hair. And kind of play around and attach it somewhat to make it look more natural. Get your eraser, anything that you see you don't like, correct it. I'm a little fuller on this side, so I'm going to get rid of that. That side's higher than that, or lower, so we need to bring this side down some. Okay. Then I'm going to go down here. With the goatee, I find it's easier if they're long, straight strokes. So I find it easier to start in pretty much the center. Down here and just pull some little tails in on this to even it out. Come up here and add another stroke or two. There we go. Now I'm going to go up here. I'm going to do his brows. If you really look at his brows, he has a scowl. We're going to start up here and do a few short strokes. Then we're going to angle it and basically do your regular French eyebrow, just very light. As you get out to the outer brows, your strokes should get a little bit smaller. Okay, I'm going to do some understroking. These brows are kind of full at the beginning.
Now, Carl, how long could this sit without being fired, does it matter if it's a couple of days or?
Not with the media that I'm using because it will dry. If it's water-based or one that doesn't dry, I would put it somewhere where lint and dust could not get to it before you fire, because that can cause your paint to gather.
Okay.
with the dust.
But it's probably best just to get directly into the...
Oh yes, it's a lot easier on you if you can go ahead and fire it. I don't like this one little brush stroke right there, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And I'm going to do like the other one. I'm going to go back here and do some understroking. Now, that basically is that. Now, we're going to go into the roseberry. Let's put a drop of media there. Use a liner brush. We're going to do some lips accents. And we're also going to go in between the lips. Keep in mind and be very careful. This paint's wet that we just put on, so try not and get into it. Remember, the lighter the touch and the more up you paint with the tip of the brush, the finer the lines you're going to get. It doesn't have very much accents compared to her especially, and I don't like that one. I'm going to take it off. Let's thin that one out just a little. Okay, I can live with that. Let's go into the pink pompadour once again too. Let's make his tear ducts just a little more prominent. Since this will be the last firing, look at your colors and see if they're deep enough for you. Like if you want more color in the ferrules in his forehead, you could put the color on now. I think there's enough around his eyes and everything.
I think it's perfect.
We're going to put just a tad of color on his cheeks, but this time we're going to go to a little deeper tone, just barely. We have been using tea rose. This time we're going to come back with roseberry. And this will make his cheeks just a little fuller looking. Okay. Let's see. Go into the roseberry just barely. Tap that out. Lightest little bit, right on the apple of the cheek. Then we're going to take our brush and work it out. Don't try to bring it out over the whole cheek. Keep that pretty much located where you've just put it. And of course the color, you're going to lose a little bit of color. When it's fired. Okay.
I think he looks fantastic.
He's ready to go into the kiln at an 019.
Okay, that's great, Carl. That was really a lot of fun to see that.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it.
Well, Carl,
Well, we have got her fired to this stage, so this will be our last application of paint on her as well. I'm going to go in, I'm going to do the shadow brow. This time, I'm going to do what's called dry brushing. I've thinned down the chameau brow just a tad, wiped it out on the tile. Now I'm wiping it out on a sponge. You want very little color. I'm just barely going to take and drag this along the brow. You'll see it's transferring a little bit of color.
just a smidge, isn't it? But it's very effective. I'm sorry for the background sound. It is a working day here.
Now, I'm going to take a makeup sponge. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to blot it again. But that little bit of color has produced a richness that we need. Now, if it gets out of line, take your eraser to it. Now, I'm going to take my liner brush and that same chameau brow, thin the color down. Where we've already done our brush work, we're going to lightly go back over it.
So you're just adding more lines?
Yes. And her brow work is not really intense. So just here and there. Just to tie it in. Because your first coat's going to show through.
So basically, we've fired the eyebrows 3 times, correct?
Yes. And you're not going to get the depth and everything if you do it just once.
No. I mean, that would be fine if we were doing a penciled on eyebrow.
True. And of course, when you think you're done, always hold the head, look at it from where everybody else is going to be looking. See if you've got them as symmetrical as you want. If you want more brush work, go for it, because now is the time to do that. Okay, now we're going to take Pink Pompadour. We're going to go back in. We're going to paint the tear ducts again.
So it seems to me we've done the tear ducts 3 times too.
Yes,
And the nostrils.
yes. And of course, we've already done her lip accents once. So we're going to go back and do those again. We're going to use roseberry, a little bit of media. You don't want this very thin, but you also don't want it thick. About a medium consistency. As long as it travels off of your brush easily, then it's going to be right. We're going to do it in between the lips again. Let it trail off very fine. I'm going to go in there and do the upper accent. Be careful and don't get your hands in your wet paint.
You'll be painting it again.
True, and it's not as fun that second and third time.
No, it's not.
Then we're going to go down here and kick in these bottom ones. Don't like that one. So get our trusty eraser. Let's do it again, only except do it right this time. What a happy little smile she's got now. Okay, now we're going to take a little bit of media on our sponge and put very little color on her cheeks. Once again, we're going to use the roseberry instead of the tea rose, just to step that color up just the tiniest bit. Not a lot. Now, this color might look like a lot right now, but roseberry, you will lose some of the pigment that you're seeing. So it's not going to be as flushed looking as what you're seeing right now. And once again, just on the apple of the cheek, blend it to the perimeter, but you'll leave most of your color right on the apple of the cheek, the center. And there we have it. And of course, neither one are fired, but there are both of the Dehors finally done.
Yay!
We'll show them to you in the next segment after they're fired. I'll be showing you how I set the eyes, and I put the earrings in the lady one, and also assembling them.
All right. Thank you, Carl.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll be back. Well, Carl,
Yes.
I think we're at. I can see things are happening here. So what are those little thingies there that you've got?
Well, this is just wax that I've rolled out into a little worm. We're going to set the eyes and the earrings in the lady Dehors, and of course just the eyes into the gentleman. The way I set eyes is I roll those little worms and I go around the eyes. And the eyes we're using are 8mm flat ones from doll's parts. And I usually just kind of balance them on my fingers, put them in there and press.
You know, I've been doing this for years, and your technique, I've never seen this before, so I'm very excited to give this a try.
This is usually the easiest way I found through the years of teaching. We'll level them up after I get them in there.
Well, the eyes are handmade too, so there is, you do have to kind of try to get the right pupils and everything.
Oh yes, even these eyes can run differently. And by using the little worms of setting wax, you pretty much know that you're not going to get any gaps or plaster leaks.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, I'm putting on my optivisors. Now I will push and center the eyes. I take a toothpick to get out the excess. This one I didn't get pushed in quite as well. And be careful whenever you set eyes. If you have done a really good job of sizing the eyes, they're going to be extremely thin. And you don't want to push it so hard you're going to chip out a little piece.
Yeah, your eye socket.
Because it will happen. Okay. And I think I've got them centered. The way I always test is find something flat, line it up with the pupils of the eyes. Yep, that one needs just a little more. Okay, they're even, so he's ready.
Can you show me straight on?
Sure. Let me get the wax out of her eyes.
And of course, when you're doing this, you're doing probably many dolls at a time.
Usually at least 10, if not 20.
Yeah, and then you could save up all that wax and not have any waste.
As hard as supplies are getting to be, you don't want to waste anything
No,
anymore.
You don't.
Because you never know that source you've had for 20 or 30 years. The next time you go to order,
It's over.
might not be there. Let's see. Try to always make sure they're looking as even as your eyes can tell. Then to make sure, go in there and line up under one of the pupils. This one needs to come down just a little. Okay, now I'm pleased with the way those are set. Now for the Dehors Lady earrings, I use an eye hook is what it's called. You can get those at Michael's or places like that.
Yeah, anywhere where jewelry's made.
Yes, in the jewelry section. And if you'll notice, one side has the open loop, the other side is closed. Try to make sure that you have the open loop at the top, because if you do it this way, your earrings will be hooked in there. Sometimes that can open and make your earrings drop off. So position it with it at the top. And in the antique ones, these were set in as the eyes were plastered in. So make sure they're straight up and down. Then I've went in there and I've pushed it.
So it's going to be set in with the plaster.
Yes. That's one good.
2 for 1.
Well, that's one good thing. When y'all send me dolls, I get to see things other doll artists haven't saw, and this is the way the original was done. Make sure they're both level and straight up at the same
Looks
angle.
good to me.
So that the earrings will hang evenly. Now we're going to take some plaster. You won't need a great deal.
It's just plaster of Paris, right?
Just plaster of Paris,
You get this
anything
anywhere
like
at
that.
the hardware store.
I'm going to put a little bit of water in there. I'm going to stir it around. Try to get all the lumps saturated with the water. And I'm going to use my palette knife to stir it just a little more.
And I do have a spoon for you to use.
I'm actually used to using this. Spoons
okay,
do
well
work
then.
good. Either that or I didn't bring it with me. I have a dental spatula that I use. You can see it's not real thin, but not real thick.
It doesn't take long for it to thicken up.
No. We're going to take this and just drop it on the back of the eyes. And of course, this is the Lady Dehors. Let's see if I can prop this where you can get a shot. So we're going to want to make sure we get the earrings set in with it. Don't go too far close to the ears. It might seep out of the earring holes. You wouldn't want that.
It's already starting to set.
That's the good thing about it. It doesn't take long at all. We get this set, and I'll turn it back where everyone can see. You want to use plenty, but you don't have to use a whole lot. move her face down like that until it sets. It won't take it 4 or 5 minutes. Very short time, especially depending on the weather wherever you're at. And there he is.
So you don't overdo it, you just put the right amount.
Just enough to hold it in there. We'll let those set for about 5 minutes. Then we'll come back and we will attach the heads to the breastplates.
Okie dokie. Well, Carl, it looks like the dolls have got their eyes set in, and he looks amazing.
We still have to clean his eyes really well, but I've got...
But it looks amazing when you consider that we made this here.
True.
So now we're going to attach the head to the shoulder plate, right?
Okay. I have my shoulder plate assembly. This came from Doll's Parts. I do add some leather. Your antiques, if you ever look inside, the French fashions especially, they'll be lined with leather on the inside and also underneath the breastplate. That just helps it from not grating, making noises, and also cuts down on
grinding.
Yes, grinding and breaking. And this is just a little piece of elastic threaded through the little loop there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to thread this through the neck opening. You can see how it goes in there and guards that piece of wood.
And then Margaret did a very nice job lining the neck socket.
Yes, she always does that. She's really good at it. Then we're going to pull this through. Here's another little small scrap of leather. Nothing fancy, just...
Yeah, just whatever. I mean, a piece of felt would work too.
Oh, yes. And you put that over there. Now the next step is we pull it until the little hook is exposed.
Mm-hmm.
And I've found through the years, if you need to pull it and have something to brace over, it's easier to brace it on the back of the breastplate, generally.
And this is a little bit of work here.
Oh, yes.
But putting the elastic in it is an ingenious way to make this work.
It's a little bit easier on your hands.
Yeah.
And as a doll maker,
and it looks like you're using your thumb to hold it at this
point. Yes. Our hands go through a lot when you're a doll maker, so anything we can do to protect our hands a little bit and give them a break, I always try to do that. Okay, now I'm just going to push this through until it gets to the...
And it'll find its center, won't it?
Yes, the concave part. Then you just pull out one side of your elastic. Can't get much easier than that.
No. All right, well, Carl, I think we've achieved the goal of this class on how to make these amazing dolls.
True. The only thing we have left is the pates aren't glued on. Margaret's already showed you how to make those. You just put you a little bit of glue there or on the pate, put it on there, and we generally take a rubber band and strap around it and let them dry. Then you're ready for... I would put them on the body before I put my wigs on.
Yeah, I think it's best to, particularly if they're going to costume them.
Oh, yes.
It's nice to keep the wigs off until you're done fitting them.
But you can see how much mobility you can get.
Oh, yeah. Well, Carl, this was a great workshop, and we thank you so much for coming here and taking the time. And I feel that I had a master class in the art of doll making. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, we've completed this project, and I want to thank you, Carl, for I learned so much from you. And I also want to thank Becky Decker, who's helped get this market, the molds to the mass market. And as I said, the best is yet to come with you. We've got more plans. So bye-bye, doll friends.
Bye.
Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.